My plan is I'm going to reach out to Laura. So I downloaded, so like probably the last 5 or 6 ones that I recorded. So some of those were still an hour long, but still more of the HIIT. And then some of those are only the 45 minutes all HIIT. I downloaded them on my computer, and then I'm going to see if Laura wants to upload them on the YouTube channel. So I'm also going to record today's. I'll probably record next week's because I'm recording for Eileen. So I have those to save and potentially upload over there. So I'll keep you posted. I'll post it on the fitness yoga page, or Laura will if I upload them. So, right, so next week is the last one that's live in person. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. So that's my plan. If we can upload some of those, at least then you can do some of them sometimes, even though they'll be repeating. But there's like I said, so like of the older style, there's probably like 3, I think, on the YouTube channel right now. So they're like really old ones, like from when like we first, when I don't know, because they were in studio. I happened to look the other day, I think, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know which ones are on there. Anyway, not the point, but I'll add some on there. That's my plan. Well, I'll ask Laura to add them because I don't have access to our YouTube channel. Anyway, so lots of things today, no board, nothing to copy down because I'm queuing everything as we go through. So we will start with our warm-up. I was waiting for one more person, but it's someone I don't know. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So we'll start standing, we'll start stretching just a little bit, and then we'll do some new things in our warm-up. Yeah, and then we will do all of the things I have written down. All right, so starting to stand, we're going to start with a little hop in place like we're jumping rope, right? So it's a little bounce on the balls of the feet, and we're just going to go for like 45 seconds. You can add arms, right? If you want to like pretend you're jumping rope, you're welcome to do that. But you don't have to. If you have to take it down at all on one notch, right, you can always kind of hop to 1 foot at a time instead of keeping that bounce if that starts to bother you. Halfway. Last 10. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step reach. So you step out, reach an arm in that same direction, and then step to the center and switch sides, right? So there's a little step in between, little side stretch as you reach an arm. Last few. And then find the center of the mat. Doesn't matter where you're standing. Let's inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, float the arms back down. Inhale, circle the arms up high. Exhale, arms back down. Last time, inhale, float them up. This time, fold all the way forward down to your mat. Find a little halfway lift. Start to stretch out the hamstrings just a little bit. Weight into the heels. Take a big breath in. Full breath out, still in that halfway lift. Inhale, exhale, fold all the way forward. Lower down to your mat, find a downward facing dog, right? So however you need to step to find that stance. Once you're there, spread the fingers wide, pedal out the heel. Right, so we're keeping that momentum, that movement going. So you're really bending and straightening each leg. And then from here, let's walk it to the back of our mat. Come back up to a halfway lift, tall spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms up high. And then exhale to mountain pose. So we're going to take it to a little bit of a walkout push-up, but our push-up's going to end up lowering us all the way down to the mat. We're going to lift up a little bit like a locust pose, right? So you find your forward fold, you walk it out. You can always drop the knees, lower all the way down, lift the feet, lift the hands, press it right back up and walk it back all the way to stand. Couple times, right? So repeat that. You can take it as fast or as slow as you need to. When you take that lift, you're looking to engage the whole back of the body, right? Squeezing the glutes, pointing through the toes, drawing the shoulder blades together. You can always pause in that forward fold once you walk to the back of your mat before you come back up to stand. Few more. Again, right, as fast or as slow as you need them to be. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So wherever you're at, lower all the way down to the mat. Once we're there, we're gonna lift up to a cobra, find a little stretch through the back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift to cobra again. Exhale, lower. And then last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Press it up to tabletop pose. And then we'll take a couple of rounds of cat and cow, right? Still kind of moving in that same direction. And then we're gonna move into a little bit of our spinal balance flow, right? So we find that neutral spine, doesn't matter which side you start with, but it's opposite arm, opposite leg, extending, squeeze the glute on the back and then lower down and switch. Right, same thing, just like down dog, you're keeping that movement going. You can always find that pause in the middle if that's what you need to kind of steady your balance. Lengthening out as you lift, squeezing that glute at the top. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last part of our warm-up has us coming back up to stand. We're gonna take a little step to the side, tap down, hop, step, hop, step. Keep drawing the belly in, right? Protect the low back, especially as you reach down to the floor. If that becomes too much at all, then don't go as low, right? You don't have to touch the floor. Last 15. Last 5. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Ah, that's fun, right? Something different than the high knees one. All right, we are going to do some squats with our walkout push-up again, but this time taking a regular push-up, not lowering all the way down to the mat, right? So you're gonna start at the back, you're gonna find your squat first, so knees tracking over the toes, hands walk out. You can always drop the knees here, take your push-up. When you come back, you're staying low in that squat. We're gonna take that for 30 seconds and then rest in between. Getting ready, find your squat stance first. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, doesn't matter how many push-ups you end up doing here. You're just moving for time. Halfway. Three, 2, 1, rest. Wherever you're at, doesn't matter. Take that pause, circle out the wrists if you need to. We're gonna get ready to repeat that. 3, 2, 1, go. Same thing, squat to a push-up. Yeah, stay low, right? Try to stay in that squat when you come in and out of it. Awesome. Yes. More than halfway there. 3, 2, 1, rest. Circle out the wrists a little bit. We're gonna come back to some things we did in our warm up, right? So we're gonna find our downward facing dog. We're gonna walk it out. So you keep moving the whole time. Getting ready, finding that stance. Downward facing dog. 3, 2, 1, go. Pedal out the heels, right? Keep some movement going. Whatever that might look like. You can always take that hip opener while you're here, as long as the body is still moving in some way, shape, or form while you're here, right? If you want to keep cardio going, maybe you're kind of hopping from foot to foot while you're here. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock it forward. Lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, lift, cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck the toes, press it up to a high plank. Walk it up to downward facing dog. Rock forward, lower, 2 cobra lifts, right? And then back to your high plank, top of a push-up, downward facing dog. Rock forward, lower, 2 cobra lifts. Push up to that plank. Take it to down dog. Couple more times, right? Staying strong in the arms, strong in the belly, fingers wide, awesome. Shoulders back and down in that cobra pose. Yes. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Wherever you need to rest. If you happen to be all the way down to the mat, you can take it there. If you want to come to down dog or stand, you can take it there. Up to you what rest looks like. We're going to continue with that theme, but with the option of taking it into up dog instead of cobra, right? So we're going to rock forward to plank. You might keep the arms straight and just drop the hips down, up dog, back to plank, back to down dog, right? If you want to lower the hips all the way down and find cobra instead, but you're kind of staying really strong in the arms, keep engaging in the shoulders. And on the back from there, we're going to take it to Superman, which is all the way down to the mat, right? Getting ready. So find your down dog. 3, 2, 1, go. This time it's forward to plank. Arms stay straight, hips drop down, back to plank, back to down dog. Right, pausing in that plank before you come back to down dog. Be super mindful of how it feels, especially with up dog in the shoulders and in the low back. 3, 2, 1, lower all the way down to the mat, arms out long, legs long. We lift and lower. Lift, squeeze the back, lift, squeeze the back, and lower. You can always take the arms out wider if your shoulders are not liking being right by your ears. Point through the toes, reach through the fingertips, squeeze the glutes on the back. 3, 2, 1, and rest. That was like an extended warm up, kind of, sort of. Now to do fun stuff. So we're gonna do like Tabata style, but shorter time frames, right? Because you don't have all kinds of time in class today. So double squat jumps into skaters, right? So we in, out, squat, right? In, out, squat. And then we're gonna alternate that with our skaters. So that's that curtsy-like lunge. The hand can tap down or not, right? If it starts to bother the back, don't go as low, right? You can always add that hop in between from side to side. So we're gonna go, right? 20 seconds, 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds, 10 seconds of rest, starting with those double squat jumps. 3, 2, 1, go. Squat, right? In, out. Yeah. Ha. 3, 2, 1. Take that 10-second pause. And then we're gonna jump into those skaters, curtsy squat lunges, right? 3, 2, 1, go. Relax. Halfway. 2, 1. Take that 10-second pause. We're coming back to those squat jumps. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, try to keep the shoulders high. Don't hinge too forward from the hips in your squat. You want that weight to be in the heels so that the glutes and the quads are doing some work. Last few. Rest. Getting ready for skaters. Go. Three, 2, 1. Take that 10-second pause. We're gonna do one more of each and then move on to a different 2 exercises. So coming back to those squat jumps and go. If at any point you need to take it down a notch, you can step, 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 squat, right? Last few, 2, 1. Take that 10-second pause. Last round of skaters. 3, 2, 1, go. Half. 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. So we're gonna take it out of the legs, take it down to the mat to do some core work, right? Instead of some leg and back work. So we're going to do our single leg V-ups with our crab toe taps. You remember those from a while ago when we did them? There's a little bit of balance happening there, right? So single leg V-ups, right? The legs might start out long. You're lifting up, lifting one leg and reaching for the toes. If you need help along the way, you're bending the knees to come up, but then just one leg extends up, right? And then switching sides. So you're alternating which toe you're tapping, opposite hand, opposite foot for that 20 seconds, and then that pause, and then that crab toe tap, right? It's kind of like reverse tabletop pose. You're lifting the hips. I suggest having one hand a little more centered, and then same thing, opposite hand, opposite foot, right? So you're lifting, you're staying with the hips lifted up, right? Remember these, if that's a little bit too much, maybe the hips are down and you're still tapping those hands to the feet, right? Ready? Single leg V-ups. 3, 2, 1, go. Last side. 3, 2, 1, rest. Think about where that crab toe tap is going, right? We're getting ready. 2, 1, go. Lift the hips, opposite hand, opposite foot. Hips stay lifted if you can, but if you have to drop them down, right, then keep them down and still tap. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Last few, 2, 1, rest. Not as bad as last time, right? It's a lot on the wrist though, so you can circle them out in between. Coming back to those single leg V-ups, go. And rest. Awesome. Getting ready to do those crab toe taps and go. Right, fingers wide. Pay attention to how it feels on the wrist so that if you have to turn your hand in a different direction, that might help. Last few, 2, 1. Rest, one more of each. Two, 1, go. Back to those single leg V-up. Or more than half. 2, 1, rest. Last round of those crab toe taps and go. Right, once you get the hang of it, maybe the body doesn't quite rock quite as much. Sure. Tap the hands, tap the toes. 2, 1, and rest. Circle out the wrists. So we're gonna be on our back for the first exercise in the next round, but then we're gonna be back in that like plank position for the second exercise. So one of these you've done before, one of them is new. So we take our hip bridge walkout for the 20 seconds, we're lifting, and then we're keeping the knees bent like we're marching in place. Hips stay lifted the whole time, right? Belly keeps drawing in. We're alternating that with a plank blast off. So it looks like an extended child's pose, but the knees are lifted up off of the mat, right? So you're here, plank, here, plank, right? You can always drop the knees if you need to in between. You can take child's pose if you really want to. You're only there for 20 seconds, 3 times, but ready? We're gonna start with those hip bridge march on your back. 3, 2, 1, go, right? Hips stay lifted the whole time. Only the feet lift. Knees stay bent, kind of like you're drawing the knee in toward the chest. Last few. 2, 1, rest. Alternating that with that plank blast off, right? So set yourself up like extended child's pose. Lift the knees, go. High plank, back to that hovering child's pose. Hello, quads. Woo. 2, 1, rest. Oh, feel that? Yes. You got this. Hip bridge march, go. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Getting ready to do those push up, blast off, and go. Fingers wide, right? Pay attention to your wrists. Make sure your feet are back far enough that the shoulders aren't too past the wrists when you find your plank. Last few. 2, 1, rest. Awesome job. One more round of those. And go, hip bridge, march. Three, two, one, and last of these plank blast offs. And then we are off the wrists, getting ready and go. Yeah, try to keep the hips low the whole time. Awesome. Yes. Last few. 2, 1, rest. Circle out the wrists. Or you can always come here and find that little bit of stretch if that feels good. All right, we got a little bit of a break before we jump into a little bit more core work, and then we're going to come back up to stand for some leg work. And then it'll be time for our finisher, which is back to some core work. Yay, because you're so excited right now. All right, so on our backs, we're gonna take our 30-second dead bug hold. We're gonna take that right into 30 seconds of bicycles. So no break in between, right? So we're here, shoulder blades can be up or down. We're pressing the hands into the thighs, thighs back into the hands, taking that right into bicycles and go. Dead bug hold, right? Drawing the belly down. Maybe the shoulder blades are lifted, keeping that connection with the hands and the thighs. Halfway. Right, if shaking is happening, all good. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right into bicycles. Halfway. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Awesome. So we're gonna come back up to stand. We're gonna take some chair pose stuff. Right, so back into the legs a little bit. Find our finisher, and then find our stretch at the end. So chair pose to a lunge, right? So we're gonna hold chair. We're gonna keep the legs, both knees bent like we're holding chair pose. We're gonna step back, pulse, pulse, step right back to chair. Same leg, step back, pulse, pulse. My knee is not touching the mat, but both of my knees are staying bent. I'm just bending a little bit deeper in that front knee, right? And then we'll switch at the 30-second mark for the other side to take that lunge pulse, right? So getting ready, find your chair pose. Hold on, and go. Right, so that both knees stay bent. Doesn't matter where the arms are. Halfway on this side. Three, 2, 1, switch the legs, stay in that chair pose. Woo, how long have you held chair for before? We got a minute in for this one. Chair pose in a regular class, then should feel like nothing after this. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, rest. Woo. All right, we're going to alternate that. We're going to take a little bit wider of a stance. I think we did this last week or the week before. We're tapping opposite ankles. Keep the legs straight. Go. All right, let it be a little bit of a pause of a stretch at the bottom and the hamstrings. Three, two, one, come back to chair, hold it. Whew. Root down, outer edges of the feet, right? If you don't think about how hard the legs work normally in your chair pose, thinking about it a little bit more here, because it does make it a little bit easier. Like you're trying to rip the mat apart, engage the glutes, right? So those big muscles do some work. Almost there, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Awesome job. All right, we're going to come back to some of those cobra and up dogs. So you can take that any way you need to. You're still doing some work, we're still moving, but allow for that little bit of opportunity to stretch, right? Especially in the low back as you take some of that back bend. And then we're going to come back to our finisher, which is a little bit of core work, right? So if you want to start from down dog and take it like a flow, that's where you're going. If you want to take it to that plank to up dog, just like we did in the beginning of class, or plank to cobra, just like we did in the beginning of class, up to you. We're going to take that 45 seconds and then we're going to rest. And then we have our finisher, which is core again, right? 3, 2, 1, go. Last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Right, finding that 15 seconds to pause wherever you need to. And then our finisher, just like we did already with that dead bug and bicycles, it's one right into the next. There's no break in between. We're doing 2 rounds. No break in between the 2 rounds either, right? It's designed to fire core, like the core should be on fire right when we finish. So it's gonna look like a double crunch twist and then into a boat hold. Double crunch twist, right? Is where our knees are up, our shoulder blades are up, double crunch. So I'm like lifting, elbow, elbow, lower. Lift, crunch, elbow, elbow, lower. Lift, crunch, right? 30 seconds into boat, 30 seconds. And then we're repeating. No rest in between unless you need it, but you can do it. Ready, go. Getting ready to find that boat. 3, 2, 1, boat pose, hold it. Try to resist that urge to find that spot where you can cheat, right? Where everything's a little too tucked in. or at least that's where I cheat. Let the legs shake a little. Keep lengthening out through the spine. 3, 2, 1, double crunch twist. You guys are almost there. 2, 1, boat, hold it. Last 30 seconds of effort. Last 15. How much more can you straighten out those legs? Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Stretch it out. Awesome, awesome. We'll stretch a little bit, and then that will be one more class done. And change music because, yeah. All right. So find an easy seat. We'll take a couple of twists and rinse all of that out. Switching sides when you're ready. And then we'll come back to our twist on the other side and add that little side stretch in. So back arm up alongside of the ear, take that little hinge over to the opposite knee. From here, we'll stretch the shoulders a little bit. So kind of keep the arms crossed, bring that other hand to the opposite knee, right? So we're crossed at the elbows, round forward a little bit. Feel like you're pulling the knees in. So you create a little bit of tension between the shoulders, tuck the chin in a little bit, take a big breath in and a full breath out. And then slowly release that out, twist to the other side. And then side stretch, back arm up, hinge over. Like, wait, where did I go? And then stretch out the shoulders again. So both hands to the knees, cross at the elbows, round forward. And then we'll release that, go in the opposite direction. So option, stay seated, take the hands behind, tent the fingers or plant the palms, roll the shoulders back, or reverse tabletop pose, right? Release the feet, press the hips up. Up to you, which of those versions you take. And then slowly release that out. So if the legs are still crossed, unwind them, send one leg straight, doesn't matter which one it is, cross that opposite ankle over the knee, right? So we find kind of like that little bit of figure 4 like action. Option here to fold forward over both legs, get a little stretch through the hip, also through that bottom leg hamstring. Start to come back up. Before we do the other side, we'll add in a little bit of a quad stretch. So again, 2 options here. You can make this look like full pigeon pose and take your quad stretch that way, or you can make it more of that 90-90, right? So not quite as big in the hip, and then you're rotating and still grabbing hold of the foot. So that back leg, right, still gets to be the one that you're stretching the quad out just a little. And then we'll start to release that out and come back up to take our figure 4 seated, a little bit different on the other side. So whichever leg was straight is now the one that's bent, crossing at the ankle, folding a little bit forward, maybe, right? You don't have to take the forward fold, but a forward fold is a little bit more calming, right? Starts to bring the heart rate back down. And then the leg that's extended out straight will be the leg that ends up coming behind you, whether you're taking it more like pigeon or that 90-90 version. And then slowly releasing out of that. Come onto the hands and the knees. Sink the hips all the way back to the heels. Finding a child's pose. All right, we're gonna add in a side stretch again here. So arms extended out long, doesn't matter how you have the knees. You can have them closer together or wider apart, up to you, it feels better. Walk the hands off of one side of the mat. And then walk the hands off of the other side of the mat. And then you have 1 more minute. Come anywhere you need to for that last moment. Any other stretch that you need to take, or anywhere you just want to pause for those last 60 seconds. And that is a wrap. Awesome job. Thank you. I always joke, like, when you go to do something tomorrow and you're like, why does that hurt? You can curse me all the time.
Thank you. Have a good
Yeah,
weekend.
you're welcome.
Thanks,
You
Brandy.
too.